Can you please be quiet? Go away. I'm putting that in, you know, Joe. Alright, so today's video is going to be a Pointe Q&A. So my recent video was my experience of all the pointe shoes I've tried. I hope you did enjoy that video. But today's video is going to be the Q&A and tips and tricks for pointe shoes. So I have my phone here, and again I'm using all my questions from Instagram. I posted a video asking you all to write down any pointe shoe related questions. And again, make sure you are following my Instagram account so then you are ready for when I ask you questions. Alright, first question here. Do you darn your pointe shoes? Do you think it helps? I do not darn my pointe shoe, and I think it does help. I knew a person who did that to her own pointe shoes, and she really felt like it did help her stay on top of the box, and it really gave her great support so she didn't wobble everywhere. She also said that it helped with ankles. If you have weak ankles and you need that support, darning will help. I have tried darning once, but the only downside for me was that I felt if you did the full circle, I couldn't get down off the box as easily. So maybe trying just a half circle might help you. I'm lazy. I can't be bothered spending all that time doing darning. I just like to have a pointe shoe and then start dancing in them. I mean, it's personal preference, up to you. I don't do it. I don't need to. But lots of people do really, really like darn pointe shoes. So give it a try. When did you get your first pair of pointe shoes? Great question. So I was 11 when I got my first pair. I was so excited. You don't know how excited I was. Prior to getting my pointe shoes for a full month, literally, I was watching pointe shoe videos, anything. If it was just people standing in dead pointe shoes or people just dancing in pointe shoes, I was obsessed. I was like so excited. And I said in my previous video that my first ever pointe shoes were my heritage from Block, and I really did like them, but if you saw the video, I had to swap pointe shoes. Yeah, just go watch the video if you want to see why. It's very important not to get your pointe shoes too young, as your feet haven't developed and your bones haven't formed yet. So make sure you do have your teacher's approval if you are ready strength-wise, and even go to a doctor or something and get your feet checked out. I know some people who did do that, so of course do that, be safe. But my teacher thought I was ready enough, I had strong enough technique that I was allowed to go on pointe. So yeah, I got them at 11. That is kind of the minimum age of getting pointe shoes. I was definitely on the younger side, but I've heard of many dancers in Russia and even like China and stuff who have gotten pointe shoes at a very, very young age. So I mean, I don't really agree with that, but if you're ready, you're ready. Do you 3/4 your shank? Yeah. So if you don't know what that is, it is basically when you cut off the top quarter of the shank so it's nice and soft, and so you do feel more comfortable, and so it's not as hard at the top. No, I don't do this. Again, I don't do anything to my pointe shoes, literally nothing. I actually do think it can be a good thing, as I've heard, I don't know where I heard this from, you want to make sure that the top half of your pointe shoe is very soft. But having a hard shank at the top can cause you to have pain in your Achilles, and it's very, very important to have that soft. So I think that's why many dancers do cut that out, so it's nice and soft and they have more mobility in their feet when they do dance. I think go for it if you like it, but I don't do it. So next question is, which pointe brand do you wear and which one do you prefer? I wear capezio at the moment, and like I said, I'm going to be discovering new types of shoes this year. But if you would like to find out more about different pointe shoe brands I like and ones I'm trying out and ones I don't like, go check out my recent video, be up there, on my experience with different types of pointe shoes. So click that if you'd like to find out more. Do you suggest trying capezio pointe shoes? I have used Gainers for a while, and every brand feels too hard compared to them. So I have never tried Gainers. Capezio have different strengths of pointe shoes, so I think you can find a nice soft shoe from Capezio. But the one I definitely know is very, very soft are the Tiffany's without the pearl on the end. Those are very soft and I think they will compare very nicely to the Gainers. So next question, how long have you been on pointe? Also, if you could give any ballerinas one piece of advice about getting pointe shoes, what would it be? So I have been on pointe since I was 11 and I'm now 17. It's my birthday yesterday, not yesterday, like the day before. So 6 years. Probably for when you're getting your pointe shoe, make sure it is comfortable. Do not buy a shoe that looks pretty and just feels horrible. Make sure it's comfortable. And advice for when you are dancing on pointe, make sure you are really activating all your muscles, lifting out, and really just make sure you tune in with your feet. That might sound weird, but really think about the way you are going through the box. It's so important to teach yourself to be on that box right. So that's my piece of advice. It's kind of two, because the first one's for getting pointe shoes and the second one's for when you're dancing in pointe shoes. I really like this one. How do you not get scared of falling? R.I.P. Obviously at my level now, I don't think like that. I really just, it's second nature now to me. For when you're first starting out a pointe, I think it's just about your mindset. Not to be scared. Don't feel scared at all, because when you are, you tend to dance further back, especially when you're in the center. Be careful of that. Go for whatever you are doing. If you're doing a pirouette, think of doing it and landing it. Don't get scared halfway through, because that's when you will fall. And to not be scared on pointe also is to be secure in the way you dance. So really practice at the bar and get yourself feeling nice and secure, so then when you go in the center you won't feel as bad. Any tips for breaking in a new pair of pointe shoes, and what is your favorite way to sew pointe shoes? I actually have 2 videos on that, so go check them out. I also, this is really nothing to do with this video, but I just wanted to mention, I don't even know if I should be saying this or not, but I don't know if you'll be able to watch it, because I'm having real troubles with YouTube at the moment. They're, for some reason, demonetizing my videos. Tell me down below if they're not, but I think my videos are family friendly and they are not bad at all, so I don't get why they're doing that to me. So if you cannot watch it, that's the reason why, because they've demonetized it and not let you watch it for some reason, so it's so annoying. Anyway, I mean, if you're not able to watch it, let me know down below and I can redo the videos for you, so let me know. How often do you need new pointe shoes? This is a good question. For everyone, it will depend. If you have very, very strong feet and you do not go through pointe shoes. For me, I go through about 1 to 2 pairs a month. That's the usual amount for me. But as I'm going to be trying out new pointe shoes, it might be different. Does dancing on pointe hurt very much now? Or are you used to the pain? The only times I get sore feet are if I get blisters, or if my bunion hurts, or my toenails, or my second toe. Quite a few, but I don't really get that much pain in dancing now. I did a bit when I was younger. When I first started, that's so normal to get pain. Like after the full hour, it would begin to hurt, but I've gotten so used to it now that that doesn't happen. I could possibly wear pointe shoes all day and it probably wouldn't hurt. I mean, I don't get any more bunion pain, touch wood. I'm touching the bar. And blisters, I don't get many blisters, but when I do, they're usually on my heels, so I just put band-aids on and that's okay. The third one, like I said, is toe pain. I get this more than the other two, especially my second toe, because my second toe is actually longer than my big toe, and the toenail's gone all weird, so sometimes that hurts, but I live through the pain. I don't know how. And of course, the other pain I get is sometimes toe cramps. Those are the worst, because when I get toe cramps, I have to stop dancing, literally. You just have to go through it. It's so horrible. I hate them. And the reason why is because I don't drink enough water while I'm dancing. So tip for you, drink more water when you're dancing on pointe. So yeah, that's the pain I get, but if I don't have any of those things, I'm totally fine. It's actually feels really nice to be on pointe when I don't have any of those things. If you could give one exercise to help with strengthening your feet for point, what would it be? I would say rises would be to strengthen the calf up, so then when you go up to point, you are able to do it a million times and not get any pain. And also the rises will help with metatarsals and the way you go through point. That's very important. And TheraBand would be for the metatarsals, so when you point your feet, you are able to really work that shoe, because sometimes it's very hard to point your feet in point shoes, so TheraBand will help with that. What foot accessories would you recommend to avoid getting blisters from point? That's super easy. Blisters. I mean, Band-Aids. Band-Aids are your best friend. Especially this type here. This is my favorite because you do not feel anything. It's super, super nice. And also what I like about these are that they kind of act like a second skin. So the blister will actually heal faster because it acts like a second skin. People also put lamb's wool on there too. I don't really do that. I don't know why. I just use Band-Aids. And if you have them on your toes, you could also wear those pinky pad things. I don't use them for blisters because I feel like they're a bit thick and my toes can go a little bit numb from them. And I do use them for the top of my toes only. But some people do use those too, so you can use those. But I actually think it's very good if you do get blisters when you start out in point, because once you get them, your feet will harden up after the blister and they'll get more used to it. I used to get blisters all the time when I first started out, but as my feet have gotten harder and they've healed over and gotten that ugly callus stuff, I don't know really what it is, but I don't get many blisters anymore because of that. So it's a good thing if you do get blisters, because that just means your feet are getting more tough and getting more used to your feet being in point shoes. How to keep your shoes alive for longer. There are many ways you can do that. First being to switch shoes. So if you are full-time, this might be a better tip for you, but rotating between two pairs of point shoes. So one day you wear the point shoe and the next day you let that dry. If you do just do a couple classes a week, make sure you do keep your point shoe out in the open to let that dry, because when it does dry, you'll suck out all the moisture and it will go a little bit more hard, so make sure you do let them dry. Also jet glue, I find jet glue is kind of more of a last resource if they're so close to dead and you really just need to use it for one more class. Jet glue is the way to go. This isn't really like a straightaway tip to do. A way to keep your shoes for lasting longer is the way you dance in them too. It's very important not to sink in your toes when you are dancing. That will make it go softer quicker. It's obvious because you're sinking and squishing them. So make sure when you are dancing, you lengthen out of your body. That will just make them last longer. How do I stop my shoes slipping off from the back of my heel? This is a really good one because I only recently just found a really great way last year to do that. And that was when I was in the company doing Swan Lake. So the tip is to get rosin and put that on your tights and also on the inside of the shoe as well. Rosin is to stop you from slipping, so that makes sense to put it on the back of your tights and shoes. It does really work and I definitely recommend that. This is a great one. How short or long are your nails when you are on point? How do you know when they are too long? This is a very important thing you want to do on point. You want to have your toenails very short, not too short that they start bleeding in. You don't want them that short, but you do want them more short than long. To figure out if they are short enough is when they are just below the top of your toe. You do not want to have them like these nails here too long. If you can see, you do not want to have them higher than your actual skin and toe, because if they are, you will start to form a toenail that goes over the top. So be very, very careful. You won't get nail pain as well. So yeah, make sure they're short. All right, so I'm gonna stop there with the video. I hope you enjoyed it and got some great tips for points. Make sure you do subscribe if you're not already. If you're watching this, go down below and just press it. I know you won't regret it. And for the question of this video, I'd love to know if you are on point and how long you've been on point for. So let me know down below. I'd love to hear. So thanks all for watching, and I will see you next week with a brand new video. Bye!